Good morning, and God bless you as you begin a new week and as you begin this Monday morning. I want to talk to you today about listening and what a gift it is when we truly listen. Not just stop talking, but truly listen to what people are saying, to hear them and understand them. There's an old saying that I heard when I lived on a Native American reservation. They said, "Don't judge a man until you've spent 2 moons walking in his moccasins." How true it is, until we really know what life has been like from someone else, we should be humble enough not to pass judgment because we simply don't know what it's been like for them. We don't know what choices we would have made had we been in the same circumstances. And I warn there might be an instinct where you might want to say, well, wait a minute, if I were them, or if this happened to me, I wouldn't, or I would. That's what we think, but that's reflecting on it from the outside. Had we been living it, had we been walking in those shoes, we don't know what we would have done. We simply don't. We can hope and we can assume the best about ourselves, or at times when our self-esteem is low, we may wonder whether we would cower or whether we would fail, whether we'd give into the temptations. We simply don't know, which should move us to compassion. The idea of, since I don't know what it's been like to walk in your shoes, since I don't know why you made the choices you made, even if I think those choices are right or wrong, I'm going to reserve. I'm going to try to do something else. I'm going to try to listen, and I'm going to try to understand. Now, I'll tell you the truth. The reason I want to talk to you about listening has to do with the discussions of race and relationships that's once again gripping our nation and once again tearing at the union that we have shared. And my concern for us, even within our church, is that we learn to listen deeply and understand deeply. Now, I want to give you some biblical guidance for this. The first one, and I referred to this several weeks ago when the crisis was first starting after George Floyd's murder. James chapter 1 says, "My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires." And you think about that, quick to listen, slow to speak, and maybe slower still to become angry. But boy, right now there is so much in the news and in the media that provokes anger, regardless of which side of the issues or which side of the politics you're on. It seems that there's enough food or enough fodder for our anger to just simmer and boil. And what I found in my life is that when I am angry, I don't listen. I don't really care about somebody else's opinion. It's kind of like the cartoon that was at the opening. People don't want to know your opinion. They want to hear their opinion coming out of your mouth. And I got to tell you, when I get my defenses up, when my adrenaline's pumping and the anger's there, I stop listening, and I might be quiet. That's something that Brenda and I have gone through many times in our marriage, where I can be very, very quiet. And there could be the mistaken assumption that I might actually be listening. But if I'm upset, there's a good chance that even though my mouth isn't running, my ears are not listening, because my mind is consumed with the thought of, as soon as you stop talking, this is what I'm going to say. And even if Brenda and I in our marriage sometimes are so close together that we're really essentially saying something very similar, if not the same, there's still times in pride and in anger and when we're frustrated with each other that it's not good enough. You need to concede. You need to say it exactly the way I'm saying it. And you know what? Whether it's in my marriage, whether it's in my relationship with my own sons, or my daughter-in-law. Thankfully, Juniper, my granddaughter, isn't old enough yet, so I haven't had these conversations with her. But in virtually every relationship in my life, with people that I work with the church family, with good friends, there are times where listening is the casualty. And I just encourage you that as we look at this time that we're in, as we think about all of the opinions and the news clips and the sound bites, I want to share with you those words of James again. Quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. But I want to share with you a couple other words. Jesus said, I'm sending you out as sheep among wolves. Therefore be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves. And the reason this passage comes to mind is to remember that when we're listening to other people, we are listening only to the world through their eyes, through their perspective. But that isn't necessarily the whole truth. And sometimes we get blinded by our own nearsightedness. And we need to remember sometimes the people talking to us, people we love, people we care about, people who we really are trying to get to know, they are still only speaking out of their own perspective. And we need to be as wise as serpents, but as innocent as doves, listening with purity, loving with intense real love and affection and a desire to know somebody, but knowing that they're only telling us the world through their perspective. And that may be completely true or not true at all. It's what's true to them, though. Jesus said, if you abide in me and my word abides in you, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. We find ultimate truth in Jesus Christ, and we find that command that in our relationship with other people, we love them. We treat them with enough respect to take them seriously, to listen. But as we listen and as we learn, we still have the responsibility of praying about what we've heard. And if there's in trouble, asking and seeking God's direction for how we can actively and tangibly help that person. We also have the responsibility to not be deceived, because there are people that will speak to us, but their motives are not necessarily pure. There are those who would deceive us, and there are those who are so blinded by their own ideologies that they can't see their own blindness, and they can't see the fallacy in some of their own arguments even. We have to be wise and discerning as Jesus warns us. The last word of Scripture I'd like to say as we think about our relationship with others and listening, and especially as we try to apply this in a time that is so divisive and it's so easy to cause offense, and apparently it's so easy to be offended. I think of Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. And isn't that a powerful challenge for us today? The fact is, in most conversations, when we approach someone with love and they give us the respect that they're willing to trust us and share with us at least a little bit of their life, a little bit of their perspective, to seek to grab hold of what is good in what they're saying, to look for the things that we can affirm and agree with them on, rather than the things that are the triggers that we're going to say, no, I don't agree with you. You're wrong. You must be this way. And all of a sudden we're down that road again of judging others that Jesus said love. And I want to leave you with this last word of Scripture. Love one another deeply from the heart, for love covers a multitude of sins. And there are a lot of sins that need to be covered, so we need to love well. God bless you on your Monday. God give you ears that are open to listen and understand. Amen.